Okay.
Gina.
So.
We're good?
Mayor Cano.
Yeah.
Mr. Creedy is absent, Mr. Rivera.
Here.
Here. The trainer is absent, Ms. Mara. Ms. Azarino.
Here.
Notice of this meeting was provided to the Burnsville News and Courier News, filed with municipal clerk and posted on the municipal bulletin board on December 5th, 2024, and supplemented on June 26th, 2025, to change the date to July 21st, 2025. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Welcome to the July 21st, 2025 meeting of the Burnsville Borough Council. This meeting is being conducted in person in the council chambers in Borough Hall, and it is being broadcast live on YouTube and on Zoom to make it as convenient as possible for residents to attend the meeting. Members of the public who are here in person and those attending remotely on Zoom will be given the opportunity to comment at appropriate times during the meeting in accordance with the following guidelines. Members of the public will be allowed to speak during the open sessions and during formal public hearings on the agenda, including public hearings on ordinances. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker, which will be monitored and enforced by the borough clerk. Comments containing offensive, profane, or indecent language or language constituting hate speech will not be permitted. Remote participants will be muted unless they are unmuted by the clerk, and remote participants will not be able to unmute themselves. The clerk will mute the new speakers at the expiration of their 3 minutes of allotted time, or if they make any inappropriate or offensive comments. All speakers, whether in person or on Zoom, shall state their name and address before making their comments. Speakers on Zoom shall activate their cameras so they can be seen by members of the governing body and audience. Failure of the governing body to provide a live broadcast of this meeting or technological problems encountered during the course of the meeting that affect remote viewing and or participation will not invalidate this meeting or any action taken, including but not limited to the adoption of any ordinance, resolution, or motion. All right. Thanks. We do not have any presentations. You guys come up on the agenda under discussion. And yeah, this is kind of weird because we're combining work with action. So I don't know where we. I see where it is. Okay, very soon. Don't worry. We have the minutes from June 16th and June 23rd and June 27th. Do I have a motion? All in favor? Okay, and we don't have an open session for anything that's not listed for a public hearing. So you know the routine, stand on this silver X.
Hi, Mary Fran Daly, your library director in town. And I just wanted to report that the library renovation has gone really well. We're in the final touches that are coming together. And the public support for it has been very positive. People are loving their meeting rooms, people are loving the new fresh paint and fresh carpet. And everybody's really looking to it's been a big hit. So please come over and see for yourself. Maybe on the ribbon cutting would be the first week of September. We'll send out invitations on social media, email and all that. But we also have plenty of fun summer reading programs around. We have our regular programs there, which are hoop. But we also have some extra special ones going on for the summer. We have the summer finale. And we're very thankful for your permission to have our traveling story times. The pool park has been great. Everybody says. So because we were partially closed for 3 weeks, we still had a mini library going in the community room, but a lot of people were going out to other libraries. And we have a slight slump in our library cards and minutes. So if you have a human in your house who doesn't have a library card, please, they're very welcome to come in and get a library card. And that's really sort of working summer that will be even more popular than the children's room. And we've also had the library lunches that the Friends are sponsoring, has been quite a success, we're giving away an average of 15 lunches during the week, there's not as many on Saturday. But people have been very thankful. You guys have any questions, please, concerns, just.
No, please stop by and look, the children's room is just magnificent, the tree book stands and even the teen room, it's just really, it's so up to date and welcoming and just, you guys did a great job on that.
Take it from me, a 2-year-old can literally get lost in.
It looks even harder now that we have open sight lines.
It is, it's honestly tremendous, the renovations look great, I know they're still in, just at the very tail end. Yeah, but, and the programs that we've been attending with them, they've been packed, so. That's.
It's amazing, and the meetings with the really great for the community.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public would like to be heard? Nobody? All right, then I will close the public session, and then on to the English Park concept at the train station. And I think we sent, I let everybody get the copy of what we gave him the other night, so we have the latest version. Oh, Mike, you haven't seen it? So, I don't know if you want to talk about it or just.
Do you want us to go over there?
You have to stand on that.
That way they can hear you. Stand on this.
Just otherwise you don't show up on the YouTube.
Just here for support.
I have a few more hard copies. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
If anyone.
I can share.
Oh, yeah, okay. I want to go up there too.
Oh, wow, we're the public.
Yeah, that's pretty.
In person. I'll share it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these, I mean, these are three representatives from the design committee for Main Street, and that's who's sponsoring this particular project. So
Yes.
you can introduce yourselves.
Sure, Mike Dwyer, been a resident here in Bernardville now for almost 15 years. It's been about a year now that I've been involved with the Main Street Committee, design team. I have a background in landscape architecture for almost 20 years, so I've kind of put, some of that in motion to give back to the community here, so.
Steve Moran, member of the design committee, 50% owner of Green Rose Design, Ken. And we do design build work. We've been a member of the design committee for
Couple of years.
6 years, 5 years, almost as long as it's been in existence,
Yeah.
shy of 6 months.
Hi, Ken Mallion, design committee member, and
And even though, I mean, Ken and Steve both lived in Bernardsville and since moved to Chester, but they continue to volunteer in Orangetown. Thank you.
Yeah, so Ed English, for those of you who may not know, he ran the farmer's market for about 20 plus years maybe. So when I first got into the Main Street design team, it's a project that was something that they wanted to give back for the community and dedication for Ed. So we've been looking at different spots around the train station area because that's where the farmer's market is solely placed and the course of the time here, so we were trying to find a location that could be best. This, as we understand, is for a property, and we wanted to make a small plaza that was enough for dedication, but also a destination spot. Somewhere that, you know, if people are passing, they can sit and, you know, just have a cup of coffee or admire the landscaping that we would like to implement here. As well as be able to implement it into the space as the farmer's market. You know, with the tents all set up and so forth, there wouldn't be any cars there, right? If you can just kind of picture that So that way, when the farmer's market is running, you'd be able to enjoy the space as well. So it wouldn't just be something off the beaten path. We want to make sure that we can announce that and activate that space during those moments as well.
It gives people a spot to rest, which kind of keeps them there. And hopefully pulls them back to another booth at the farmer's market, yet also offering a resting spot and a place to kind of regroup while they're at the market.
And they could look across and go for lunch.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is, you know, the concept that us as a design team have put together. What you have in the middle there is a couple benches and some planters. And then you have the dedication, that's that white rectangle at the bottom of that red area, which would be, you know, all concrete. Concrete on the sides flanking like sidewalk, and then the center would be bricks that can be used for dedication bricks as well. Another way to, you know, insert the community into this. Yeah, and be able to put some names in there. Dedication to the bricks, through benches as well. And then flanking the space, we, you know, maybe some game tables. So it was a thought, as an idea again, to make this a destination point, something that you can do more than just sit there, right? So maybe some checkers, stuff like that.
There's a smaller area currently where there's 2 dilapidated benches there.
Yeah.
And it's not really a place where anyone would say, oh, let me sit down and rest my feet. So we wanted to expand it and.
Connect it. Yeah,
Exactly.
so it has flow.
Exactly.
There is a plaque there for Joan Buchanan. I don't know if you've seen it,
We
so
would not find it. Could you find it?
I thought.
it may be like stuff overgrown. It's on the
Yeah.
left side-ish of that. I never knew it was, I found it the other day, just by accident.
Did you have to?
Yeah, I think- yeah.
It's because I couldn't find it.
Cause it's flat on the ground,
And.
so it's probably. Grown. But just that somehow needs to stay there, but be, you know, you can move it somewhere else, but keep it there.
Yeah.
If you can work it into the design.
Exactly.
I think it's great, and thank you for all your hard work on this.
Sure, awesome.
Just 2 questions for me, it's excellent. On the street side, so that's a wall, right, that matches the current? No? I guess what the black portion on the drawing, that's what I was sort of.
Yeah.
If you can just clarify that.
So we're trying, and we have, are you able to go to the next sheet by any chance? So we're trying to extend it from the wall that's there now. Again, this is conceptual, it is a thought, we're gonna be working closely with the DPW to get a final plan in place. To see if that's even allowable to do a wall there. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to enclose the space a little bit, so it'd be like a little seat wall, you could sit on it. And then it would kind of almost feel a little bit more, you know, part of the dedication space.
And then just a comment, should probably, but I think there are vendor trucks that block that right now, right during farmers market days, so it'd be nice to just keep that open, so there's an integrated part of the farmers market, I'm sure that's what you're planning. If you have a nicer space up there.
There is an existing curb there that seems to be falling apart,
Yeah.
but it's a huge tripping hazard. So that's why we thought a wall, plus we have some, mechanicals there, some plumbing there, access panels to irrigation. That we kind of wanted to pull in near that, right? Near the dedication to Ed, so that the wall would serve as a non-tripping hazard.
Yeah,
Well, would there be, I guess, would there be access from the sidewalk into the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see the white portions on the side,
you can walk in there.
the goal is to kind of direct the flow of traffic this way, so it opens up this way and opens up out.
The white or, oh, just like the white, the pavement.
Yeah.
White,
White,
got
the game tables are, or
Gotcha.
walking tables.
So essentially, yeah.
Oh, it's just a little privacy thing, but it's accessible. Got it.
Right, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so like right now on the left side, there's that sidewalk, right? So we almost kind of kept that sidewalk and we just expanded into the right. Into the right, so you have plaza and an additional sidewalk as one larger piece that would eat into the landscape a little bit, but we would enhance the landscaping with more, garden type of vegetation. That's another kind of ode to Ed. He had a garden. His wife, that he was very much a gardener, so.
He did a
All
lot.
native species.
Native,
Yeah,
well, he was into native
Yeah.
species too, and he did a lot, he made a lot of our trails that we had, we spent a lot of time digging those trails. Reference, he ended up with Lyme disease and something else, he was in the hospital, it's so sad. But yeah, he's done a lot for the town.
is it funded? Is it funded?
Oh, you want me to
Yeah.
say it? Yes, Main Street it's in the Main Street budget, there was a grant specifically for the park. So at least, stage one. But you have to spend it quickly, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was,
yes, that's why we want to get approval from
Yeah.
council here.
so that they can start.
Moving forward on
Spending.
things, to make sure that we're. The concept itself is acceptable, and then, sort of all the plans, the construction will, kind of come later. So we're gonna try to front load Ken in terms of. Site features, benches, dedication pipe, et cetera, so we can start, yes, bricks.
Good.
Yes.
But I see in this, the trees are gonna need to go then.
So there's the one tree on the left, you can see the shadow that's plays off. That would remain there, and then we wanna put, potentially another one based on utilities, if we could sort of basically flank it. There's some larger deciduous, if that's what you're, larger shrub there, if that's what you're talking about.
Just remember. I just feel like it's like a shaded, very shaded area. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one tree that you see the circle on the left.
Oh, yeah, that. So you still have the canopy, and then you'll have some of the understory too from the flower.
And then I guess the sidewalk, Nancy, we're redoing the sidewalk, right? So that'll get done.
And cleaning the brick.
Yeah.
Would that happen at first?
No, assuming that we get the extension from the, Department of, Transportation, then we would probably have to spend the money by the end of the year, so depends when they're doing, I think you'd spend it by October.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not, so those will probably get done before ours. Oh, well, still a little bit together.
Yeah.
The process.
You will fix it in October, but you just need to incur your expenses.
With Kevin.
Are we clearing with the, but I was in the farmer's market the other day. Really.
So
Are we doing that?
that hasn't been worked out yet. So
Are we responsible for that property? I mean, it used to be, I think it was Friends, and then they gave it back to us and didn't do it anymore. So I think our guys have been pruning that. No one's doing it.
Seem like anybody's doing it. My last question was about the maintenance though. And who's going to, because weeds are a huge thing, and with bricks come weeds through them. So who would maintain the property then moving forward if it's on us? And I just want to make sure that's an agreement with Nancy and Kevin's good.
Yeah, Kevin's fine with that.
Yeah, I think that's.
Well, and it's not brick, it's pavers.
Yeah.
So they usually put an underlayment there, that's weed preventative. So that should help.
Yeah, they make it so concerned.
I wish we could have done that stone patio.
If you could, I could the suggestion, if you could do, stamp,
Concrete.
yeah, and concrete. So much,
Yeah,
helps prevent the weed so much more.
you could always do, I mean, we can get into some of the technicals and get into that, but you can always do like a concrete. Subway instead of a stone that you put the brick on, so that way there's not really weed seeds and so forth, embedded in the beneath. But stamped concrete is another option too. I think we just have to make sure we're also aligned with the design standards in town here. So we don't want something to look out of place, but we're working with the DPW on some of that with Kathy, so.
We all good with this?
Yes.
I love the game table, don't do that.
Okay. Great.
So I just, work with DPW and Nancy and Full speed ahead.
Or.
Thank you. And, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
The other item for discussion was just, community crisis, to putting in purple ribbons for overdose awareness. Which I think starts on the 30th, or 31st, and then goes through September. They do it every year, and
No, like, one question on, what did they put in there? It's just like the whole throughout downtown. Just there's so many red ribbons in town because of the high school. team.
I would say, I think it's the library usually, the old library and like their actual building.
center. No, yeah, they do. Square, and then we do purple lights on their building.
Right.
Yeah. The red ribbons are kind of disappearing a little bit.
Yeah, I just be conscious, yeah.
But no, I.
You make your questions about what.
Yes.
Oh, is it? Oh, good. Okay.
Sure.
Good.
So we have ordinances for introduction. The first one is the 18,000 for repairing the sewer line at the municipal pool. Which is done, it was kind of an emergency.
Yeah.
When the sewer is back into the, not the. Yeah, so it's fixed. Yes.
2024 appropriating the sum of $18,000 for the repair of sewer line at the municipal pool, be introduced by title, passed on first reading, published according to law, and then a public hearing be scheduled for a meeting beginning at 7 p.m. Monday, August 11th, 2025.
Second. All in favor? And the next is, just enhancing further our cleanup of hazardous substances that, Ben Richard, who's our OEM head, has recommended. Right.
Right, so since we. This ordinance, but we rejected, as being too vague when we put in a claim for this tanker. Incident, so we had to go to the county, and the county had to submit, on our behalf. So that this is, it just puts more definitions and, explains the fee schedule better, puts in a penalty if you're late. And, then so God forbid something happens in the future, we can go like without the delay coming from the county. And by the way, we did get a check back last week for this, for 39,650. As our reimbursement for overtime, equipment and something.
Okay.
So this will just make it easier.
Does this include like if somebody gets injured and stuff like that? Just clean it.
No, I think this is just
That's the big cleanup part, yeah. Do we move that?
I move that ordinance 2025-2025, amending chapter 20-2 of the Borough Code entitled Clean a Hazardous Substance by the Borough, be introduced by title, passed on first reading, published according to law, public hearing to be scheduled for a meeting beginning at 7 p.m. Monday, August 11th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then we have resolutions 25, 132, all the way to 155, and we are tabling 139. We're still missing some of the paperwork on that ABC license. Any that you want to discuss separately? The resolution in support of restoring full funding for Main Street, New Jersey, I think it was cut in half in the current budget, so we're just asking that they restore it.
And that's with many other communities, right?
Yes. Yeah, every town in New Jersey that is an official Main Street, it's lose funding. Anything else that you want to ask about or? I think they're mostly pretty standard. The change order to the cleaning, is to make sure that we added that they clean the bathrooms and locker rooms of the pool 7 days a week instead of, I think they were doing 3 in the old contract. So we've asked for 7. Just to make sure that they're in good shape every day. They just mentioned that. Yeah,
So it's very good.
What's the OEM command view?
that was in the capital budget, right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that was part of,
Involved with, about half of the grant. From the state, the grant that, we get every year.
The affordable housing, one, two. That was part of, which round was that one?
This was part of the third round, but this is just the standard developers agreement.
Yeah.
That is performance bond and things, it's not unique to an affordable housing.
we already did one for.
We did one there, yeah,
That's what I thought, I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
For the fire company, they're doing a great job getting young people in, it's terrific.
Is it better?
Yeah, and then, next weekend is the, we're hosting a swim team.
Yes.
A big deal. Did you swim with this?
I did.
It's,
You missed your phone? I think we have it here.
we don't do supposed to, yeah, we forget.
Yeah. Only certain pools, who knows?
All right,
Yeah.
we good? Great.
We've got resolutions number 25-132 to number 25-155,
Last number.
less. Yeah, 130.
Yeah.
Will be adopted.
Roll call, please.
Ms. McCready?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Mr. Mayor? Is that Elena?
Yes.
All right, mayor's update, did my 21st wedding on the 27th. I went back and counted, because I wasn't sure, it's 21. We had a ribbon cutting for a new business in town, Success on the Spectrum, that's in. What is that? The one on Morristown, where the big office building. Yeah, they did a beautiful job putting it together, and if you have any kids on the spectrum, you want them there, it was really an impressive group. We had a meeting of our Somerset Hills Safety Committee, and we had a person do a presentation on the HON alert system. That we also had one for the police chief, Nancy, DPW, and fire. He was in there too. And it's an alert system that I heard at the mayor's conference that alerts, if when there's a vehicle, whether it's a DPW, a police vehicle, man on the side of the road, and there's something, there's a lot of incidents where people hit them, and it's happened, this another one in the paper today. So what this system does is it gets installed in the vehicle or the emergency vehicle, and it sends out, as soon as they turn their lights on, it sends a signal to cars that are approaching. And it pops up on, you have your screen in the car, pops up there, or if you've got your phone stuck on the dashboard, it can show up on your phone. To alert you that there's, slow down, there's something ahead. And move over, because there's people forget about. So we've been looking at, how it's not overly, it's fairly reasonable, I thought, price wise. So we're looking at maybe piloting in a few vehicles and see if we notice a difference. And then I had it demonstrated for the surrounding towns. And I think maybe Bedminster was already buying it. But they've got a highway there too, so. But it was a pretty impressive program. And then I facilitated a meeting with the fire and first aid with city MD so that they could resolve the issue with the ambulance multiple runs. So they had a meeting last week. I don't know what the result was, but I think it worked out.
They said they can.
Good. Yeah. And then I had a meeting with Flashvote to go over our survey results, which are on the website. Did anybody look at them? They're pretty interesting.
Yes.
I thought it was interesting that the number one way people want to hear from us is email, but we don't have their email. So that's gonna be a challenge. So I kind of encourage people to subscribe to my update when they see it, so that we can build a email database. But I thought that was interesting, that was the number one way that people want to hear from us. So Charlie, you can see all the results it's up on our website if you can look at them. And the next thing we were talking about, maybe in September, doing the next one, what's the topic? I forget, but you know, they have lots of, and they're encouraging us to do at least 5 over the year. So as things come up, one was, what I thought was good is getting input prior to doing the budget. Is what are priorities, what are budget priorities, and see what the community is looking for as we do our budget. But they have a great variety to look at, so I think that was a good investment of the day. And we are the only municipality in New Jersey that is doing this, so I thought that was pretty cool. First one, pioneers. What else do we have? Oh, the Main Street Car Show, Motors on Main, is this coming Sunday. There was scary weather reports, so they decided to push it back just in case. And it will be 8:30 to 11:30. And what they decided to do, they are not gonna have cars in the library lot. They're gonna have cars in half of the train station. And then parked in up and down to. Yeah. No food vendors or anything like that, just the cars and I think music, and so I think that'd be better.
That's a Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday.
So usually those spots are open on the. Oh, and I'd also say we were added to the NYU City Health Dashboard as part of the Mayor's Wellness Campaign. And what that has, and I think if you go to cityhealthdashboard.com and put in Bernardsville, you can see endless amount of health data about Bernardsville, which is really fascinating. I think I started to write down what some of the things were that I was looking at, because they were interesting. Some of the statistics, like high school completion, 93.1%, where the average is 89.4. Walkability, we had 33.9%, the average is 39, so we're under in walkability. 8% still smoking. But the average is 14%, so we're doing good. 30% of residents are within access to a park, where I think it's where the average is like 36 or something, we're a little under in that. 7.9% of adults are food insecure in Bernardsville, where it's 16.4 is the average in the other towns that are on this dashboard. So it's in, you know, if you go on there and kind of click around, you'll find some interesting stuff. And I think it's great that we got listed. You had to apply and then you had to review everything, so. I think that was, one other thing, and Fran had asked this, I am gonna be away September 11th. Usually I do something with either the high school and the library. A service for 9/11 for our 2 people that we have plaques for over at the library. So I don't know if anyone else is interested in taking that on. We didn't do something elaborate, it's half an hour maybe that we've done in the past. Maybe some kids from the high school reading the biography of the 2 people that we lost. So think about it. Let's forget to give this to you. Give that to me. Nancy, yours.
What about the appointment,
The one?
through Andrew Allen?
Oh, it's under me. Yes, this is my appointment. That's one thing I get to do all by myself.
Yes.
Yeah, he was very interested, and if you met him at our Zoom meeting. He spoke at our Zoom meeting, if you remember, so, and what I asked him to finish her term to the end of the year and see what he thinks, and if it's a good fit. And then see what we're doing there, so, yeah. I guess so, if we appoint, he's appointed now, and it'll be there Thursday.
It's just, it's one.
I'll tell the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had sent Denise an email with his. Yeah. Forgot that, all right. He does not, finance, I think is what it is in, but they have to go for training anyway, and there's not a whole lot that's gonna happen between then and December, so. I think he'll be fine. Yeah, he's young, got a couple little kids. In school. All right.
These are just some updates on things that have been, well, happening or not happening. I did want, since you passed the ordinance, or you introduced the ordinance about sewer at the pool, I just want to let you know that so far this season, we've spent 101,000 in pool repairs that were unforeseen. And basically due to previous neglect, lack of maintenance, things that should have been done and kept up, and they haven't been. And that was one of the advantages of bringing in the pool company, is that they've identified a lot of things that should have been happening that weren't happening. The sewer break, nobody had to identify that. That was, because, a mess in the bathrooms or whatever. So, I want to thank, DPW, Kevin was here for 24-hour straight that day. And unfortunately, in doing so, they also, in digging, broke a line that, filled the kiddie pool, the water line, so that had to be fixed. But it's been a challenging kind of bring it to speed, so when you see the numbers at the end of the season, they're gonna be a little off because of that, and the capital, but we're hoping next year will be good. Make these, corrections now, and then hopefully next year will be less than that. I wanna update. So they have made multiple site visits to the train station, to inspect it. And I got an email last week that, their staff is developing both short and long-term measures to accomplish the needed repairs. Their capital construction staff is in the process of procuring services of a design consultant who will review the station's condition and provide plans for the roof replacement as well as other structural elements. I know there are issues in the foundation and the basement as well. The project will take several months. Right now, though, in the meantime, they're pursuing temporary repair that can help reduce further deterioration. I asked when she thought that was beginning, and she didn't. So on their radar, with more on their radar than it's been in the past.
Thank you, Senator.
Yeah, yes. And then an update on the post office. I have no additional information. I've been reaching out to me over the last year and a half since we told them it was not being complete. And they keep telling me, that, oh yeah, we've identified a possible location, we're gonna send somebody up, we're gonna send an engineer, we're gonna put a process in it together, but they won't tell me where it is, and they tell me when it's occurred. So I've been copying Congressman Kane's office on emails all along. So I called and asked one of his staff members if they could visit out and get information. And they called back and said, oh yeah, the post office said that they've got an engineer coming up in the next few weeks and they're gonna get a cost estimate, and I said, well, they come back in March, so I think that's it. So unfortunately, I don't have anything new but, you know, they say that they have identified a different spot in Burnsville, as long as, you know, it meets their criteria. I mean, pretty clear to me they won't be out by July 31st.
Mhm.
But, it's still on the radar, and we're just gonna keep pushing.
So would it be, so August first, or sometime thereafter, we send them a letter, basically. Like, stating that they're a holdover tenant and,
Yes, we, Nancy, I was talking about that before. I think we should do that. That won't jeopardize our position with regard to these loans, we need for an increase in rent.
wasn't a whole, not that it's, the rent is so minimal anyway, it doesn't matter.
But I was, taxes, there's a.
But is it like, over rent, usually like the old or triple, that is the.
It is, that meeting is, but.
So the lease with Melillo then would expire.
Right.
And so then they would basically be,
Paying us.
that's weird though, they don't have an agreement, it's an odd situation, so they're not really, they don't lease with the post office, they just sort of be like squatting, essentially, with no lease.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's I
submitted a form for a copy of the sublease. And the government, we redacted all those rents and everything we don't get. Seems to me that should be covered now, but even if there is an addendum, they say they're responsible for the taxes. The government standard back from 2000. So they've been collecting the taxes.
So that, yeah, the post office does not pay rent when they own the building, but when it is through a lessor, they do, so. They're responsible for the tax.
Well, they're not going to get it over, so.
Well, he's not holding the pen, because he acknowledged that he's no longer.
Well, but he's occupying it through his separate cities, so.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He
It's
did
sort
that.
it's sort of his responsibility to have.
Exactly.
Vacate,
That's right.
and so if he hasn't done that, then he's essentially the whole, you're right. He's the
Yeah.
whole- he's the whole.
So he's going to, because his subtenant's still in the premise, yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then, two other things, the transit village that we've been trying to get for a while. They've asked me to update some maps and things, which I did earlier this year. I reached out to them for an update and they said they have everything they need, but they can't tell me if the application will be considered. They just said it's under review. So,
Well, I think they don't meet that, the whole group that votes, I think that's the issue, they meet like 3 times a year or something, so.
she said it's confident. And then the last thing is that the paving, and sidewalk project for west, east to west and Boylan, and west project and center, went out to bid this week. So I hope to have a bid award, for the new area.
August 11th?
Yeah,
Because opening bids.
because I think, the extension, got an extension from DOT. I don't think they've given us the date, but I think we have to award by August 7th, they'll even send another time.
And that's West Center and Brunswick.
Yeah, and that was like a writing process, but, center. To Boylan. Remember the maps that we, instead of going straight down west, or, yeah, because the.
Okay,
That's all.
all right, thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the monthly reports?
To accept the reports.
Second. All in favor? Do we have any other reports and committees that met or?
No,
Finance.
Did you have?
Right.
Yeah, we have finance. You want to do finance?
Sure. Finance, we talked about, for the most part, just looked at the debt plan, given, the affordable housing obligation, the bond ordinance there. the other spending, like requests coming from, emergency first responders. And just made sure that we were in a good place. Are we gonna talk about that in closed session? Is that what, one of the items or? No, I don't think
No,
so.
that's-
We weren't, no,
Yeah,
that's it. Right, okay. And so we can address it individually, but I think felt like we were in a pretty good place from a borough debt perspective. Essentially, the level of the debt will be effectively remaining, I think it dips and then comes back up, it's essentially flat to where it was last year, which we were talking about shouldn't have an impact on taxes, and there also could be ways to pay down that debt even further, like if we, as a council, we decide to pay down debt using affordable housing. Pay down the bond for the affordable housing using affordable housing trust fund, then we could potentially even lower some outstanding debt obligations, but I think those are the strategic policy decisions that I can make as a council, but we thought as a finance committee benefit this stuff.
Anyone else? How about Board of Health?
Yeah, they, in that, there was nothing, too crazy to note, but there was a rabies positive, which I think the paper reported on. So if anybody is going to know about it, they know about it already. But I think the biggest thing is the blood pressure screenings that they've been having, and they haven't had good attendance, so they're trying to find existing public events that they could attend. So they talked about the farmer's market, they talked about the car show that was then rescheduled to next week that you mentioned, Mayor. And any other public events, people can think of things where this might be useful for the type of people that would be there. That we just contact Board of Health. Yeah, I was thinking that, and I thought of another one too, that I
The
can.
National Night Out.
National Night Out, yeah, we talked about it too. So, yeah, we just keep the Bernard's Health in a little bit and connect with the. So we can connect with the.
I assume we're doing national this, no?
I think so, but I haven't heard. It's usually that, but I haven't heard that.
I just forget, Lucas is here in charge. I had reached out to Tim and asked him about it, because the paper was asking if we were doing it. And he said he's not, he said it was, let's see, but they thought they would.
Yeah.
The date is August 5th.
It's usually Tuesday. Just, one thing on the library, we had a quick meeting the other night and got a tour. There's a program in July, and I forgot what day it is, it's called Your House is Trying to Kill You, Take Your Two. That, woman I met at business partnership events, does at different towns, and everybody gets a free copy of her book, which is kind of how to fix things yourself, and what to look for in your house. So it's part of the Mayor's Wellness was kind of sponsoring it with the library. So if you're interested, look at the calendar. Actually, there's a bunch of, if you check the website for the library, you look at, they have a whole calendar of everything that's going on every day. I think it's July, I'll say it's July 20th or 30th or something around. But yeah, and it's free. It's not to register. And that was geared towards, we were looking for people, when we did the senior survey, most of the people that answered said they would stay in their homes. And so if you stay in your home, you can, they can maintain it and take care of it and keep it safe. So, anybody else? We good? We did have, ladies' night out will be August 15th, sponsored by Main Street Para from, I forget, what's the name of it now? Even off Square? Yeah, we did, yeah. Is it says it all? Yeah. Got another name, yeah. Anyway, she's chairing and she's got a lot of great ideas. And then what was done 2 years ago, we did it, is we had a tent in Old Square in the center. And people came and registered, signed in, got a swag bag and a map, and then went to the different businesses that were open. And so what they're asking is, when we do the tree lighting, we close the right turn lane. Go south or to just so that people aren't running across or, just to keep it more pedestrian and safe. So I think we ask you, and then we have to go to the police and then NJDOT, I think, so. You guys are first. You good with that? Yeah. Okay, and I'll tell them to do the next few steps. Any unfinished business, or anything we haven't done? Finished?
I asked about Highlands. Joining the Highlands.
That's Jessica.
Jessica, she's gonna do that.
Yeah.
I guess now that affordable housing plan, and
Yeah.
probably can start to get back to that.
Yeah. She gave us some.
Follow up.
New business?
I have one item.
Yeah.
I just want to take a second to recognize and thank our Administrator Nancy and Sergeant Tim Richards. So a few weeks ago, Somerset Hills Village, I got a call on Friday night around 6:30, 7 o'clock, between the texts that night. They had lost all water, the water line rupture, and that is privately owned. It's owned, not privately, but it's owned by the Somerset Hills Village, HOA, right, not the borough. But the residents had actually already been on almost a day without water supply there. And now they were going to the weekend and they were starting to see people who were working on it leave. So I started getting calls and I called Nancy at like 6:45, I think, on that night, picked up the phone, told a situation. She was just like on it. And I think within 25 minutes, I got a call from Sergeant Richards, who was already on site. Basically like telling, kind of figuring out what was going on. He was visible to residents. He was going around, like, calming people down. I was hearing it from residents like, yep, Tim's here, that type of thing. And I think Nancy and I talked probably 3 or 4 times throughout Friday night. Saturday, and one thing I just want to point out is like, even though we didn't officially have jurisdiction, they found creative ways to be able to put pressure on the HOA to make sure that the residents were being taken care of in a situation where they would have been without water that whole weekend. By the next morning, the HOA project manager, director was dropping off full pallets of water. And I can't believe it because nothing ever works like this. By that afternoon, the water line was repaired and the residents fully had water restored. So just want to thank Nancy and Sergeant Richards, who I saw outside, but I did forget to mention to him, for really hopping on it on a Friday night in the summer and really alleviating. And the residents actually said to me, I saw one of them on Monday. And she said, we feel that unless we got the borough involved, that would have never been resolved, but it was resolved. So thank you.
Welcome, and I want to thank Dawn Marlin, our health officer, because she was a key factor in that.
Yeah.
And calling Jack at 11 o'clock at night. So, that's happy to do it.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we have another open session. If anyone in the public would like to be heard.
May I just share that your house program is on Wednesday, the 30th at 1 p.m.
The 30th, thank you. No? No takers? All right, I'll close the public session. Do I have a motion to adjourn to executive session to consider attorney-client privilege and contract negotiations? And we will not be coming back out. Motion. Second. All in favor? Okay, do we need anything from us?
Question or two.
Yeah.
Should I address it publicly?
Are we done?
Yes.
Yeah.